Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hamster Builds, Hammy Builds, or whatever you want to call it. So this board has been fixed. Was a fun project. So we'll just go over the repair from beginning to end. It is up and running now. So we first received the board. It had a bad voltage regulator. In order to change the voltage regulator, you have to drill out the heatsink to remove them. So I installed two new voltage regulators since I was taking it off anyways. Installed hardware to hold it down. Then I proceeded to look at the rest of the unit using my Fluke 9010A system troubleshooter. Hooked it into the 6502 processor. I was not able to test the RAM and having problems with the ROMs. Nothing was working right. Traced it down to bad read-write, which is the read-write logic. So I had to replace these two chips here. After replacing these chips, they restored access to the RAM. However, the board still wasn't booting. So then I went with changing out the PLAs with EEPROM replacements. Still no boot. So then I hooked up my logic analyzer so I can actually see the address bus to see what was going on. Ended up replacing all of the EEPROMs, but I don't know what I found on the net, or it turns around they weren't right. However, I was getting to the point where it was actually making the on boot up sound, so I was assuming the ROMs were okay. Then I went to trying to figure out whether there was no video. I suspected a bad 6545. I didn't have any. I ordered two online, got them on eBay. I received them, put one in, works perfectly fine. I tested my other one, and it works fine. Put the other one back in. I was getting garbage on the screen. It says device not present, error, and then dumping a bunch of code. Looking up some additional details on the EEPROMs, I was kind of like trying to figure out, scratching my head, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pull off the logic analyzer, the Fluke. I don't need any of that hooked up anymore. Put the original CPU back in. Verified it's still booting up, but it's doing the random test, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start putting the original chips back in that came in the unit and see if it works. And unbeknownst to me, it booted right up just fine. As you can see, when I turn it on, you should be able to hear it. You can hear it, and then when I switch over to the other monitor, you should be able to see it come up on the screen. Oh, it helps if I turn it on. Helps if I turn it on. There we go. So this is an NEC V42 LCD monitor. It will sync up at standard res all the way up to Super VGA. And as you can see, it is coming up, Commodore Basic. And I was able to jumper the inputs for the keyboard to verify that the keyboard entry works. I don't know. I don't think Commodore SX64 keyboard will work in here. I'm not going to test it and blow out my keyboard. So I just jumpered it. I could get text to come up on the screen. That's all I really cared about. There was a bad character ROM as well on the board right here. That was giving me a line in the character. So I had to replace it with a 2732 adapter board, which uses machine pins. So it did kind of wallow out the socket underneath it, but it's not going anywhere, and it doesn't ever need to become off. So nothing wrong on the video section. I did take this chip out and replace it, but there was nothing wrong with it. It's now socketed. Same with this chip here. I also removed it and socketed it. Again, nothing wrong with it. I removed this one and socketed it, thinking that there was an IE488 bus problem. Nothing wrong with it. There was an issue with the keyboard controller. If I put the original keyboard controller in here, it randomly spews text out on the screen. So I'm just assuming it was bad, even though my chip master is reporting it as good. So that is it. So that's all I have. I'm going to return Send these PLAs I made back to the customer. I don't need them for anything. Send them the bad 6545. I don't really need it. EPROMs I can erase and reuse, so I'll keep those. I will probably put the 6845 back in that video card. I should put it in here and see if it actually comes up, but I am not going to do that. That's it. I was able to test some 6502s I had, which worked fine, which is good. And that's it. So I'm going to bag it up, box it up, and ship it out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also hit me up on Twitch. I do live repairs of boards. Takes a little longer to repair on live because I don't have time to edit. So they take longer to watch. That's why you see part 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, and 3. They're really long. Kind of sucks, but that's how long it takes me to fix this. So, I mean, not a lot of money to make board repair. Maybe if I fix these all the time, it would probably be quicker. I do arcade board repairs, pinball board repairs, but I only do those like once or twice a week. I stream them online. So if you got something that you want to get fixed, feel free to hit me up, and we'll go from there. Thanks again. Have a good one.